What's it like taking care of the busiest driver in the IndyCar series? You're going to find out coming up next. Who takes care of Danica Patrick. Haley, you do the PR for probably the busiest driver in the IndyCar series. You've got to take care of her. You've got to make sure that everybody gets their moments with her. How difficult is that from morning till night when you're at a track?
You know, it's we've been working together long enough that we have now a system. So we do every week we do a media availability because I can't make everybody happy. I can't make time for every single interview request. So that is a way that we can kill a lot of birds with one stone. And then the media always have time with her after qualifying and then after the race. So it is challenging.
Very demanding. Okay, now how many requests do you get, let's just say, at an average race? I know Long Beach is probably a lot more because of the popularity of this race, but just in general, especially when you first started, were you overwhelmed thinking, oh my God, this many people want to talk to her?
Yeah. Yes, we get, I can't even put a number on it. We get a lot of requests, but I think since we've been working together as long as we have, everyone knows the routine. But a lot of times, the frustrating part is a lot of times media contact you week of the race or during the race weekend where you just can't. You can't, and the schedule's already been set, and that is just the easiest thing to do is just to say, I'm sorry, you had an opportunity, and unfortunately, that was the only opportunity.
That was it.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about people's day from start to finish here at the racetrack. What is your day like? Because you're with her all the time. You've got to be with her just in case she needs something, somebody else needs something. So what's an average day like for you at a racetrack?
You know, actually at a racetrack, 90% of my job is, honestly, the week leading up to the race. 10% of my job is actually at the racetrack. So it's challenging because a lot of times at the track, you're getting emails on your phone and you can't check, and sometimes you have cell problems. So a lot of times I get home from the track and I'm still working later that evening trying to tie up loose ends.
So when did you start learning how to juggle really well? From way back, right?
Way back. I'm obsessed with making lists. Yes. I have notebooks upon notebooks, but I think I like the thing of actually just marking my to-do list off. Okay. That's it's really not about multitasking. It's about being organized and being organized in your own sort of way. And that's my way of being organized, is making lists.
I think it's so important for somebody like you to get along with the driver that you're taking care of. So you must have had a good rapport with Danica right away.
Definitely. And that is I think the challenge of a lot of PR people is that you have to have that trust and that a good working relationship. And Danica and I do. We get along at the track and outside of the track. And we've been working together so long, I know when she's having a good day and I know when she's having a bad day. So that's a lot of my job.
Yeah, and I think that too, over the years we've seen her having bad days and we've seen her now, I think, mellowing out, actually.
For sure. I definitely, and I agree with that. I think it's very hard to always make a stop and to always have people watching you. And I take my job very seriously, and she takes her job very seriously. And unfortunately, with her, Danica's in the spotlight with her job all the time. So I think she's come to realize that. And I tell her all the time, the fans don't care if if you're starting 23rd or if you're starting first. They still love you, and your fans are still going to support you no matter what.
I was going to say, yesterday we watched the autograph session of Danica out here, and it was really interesting because you see more women and little girls, especially with the Danica shirts on, and that must be really kind of rewarding for her to see. It's not just guys or race fans, but there's a whole bunch of little girls now that are coming up and really following racing because of her.
Definitely, and I think that it's just one more way for women to break the glass ceiling, and that there's no longer she's a female driver or a male driver. She's just a race car driver. And I think that's what, at the end of the day, that's what she wants to be known as.
You're also, if you weren't busy enough here at IndyCar, you're also following around doing NASCAR as well.
I am.
What's been the biggest difference? NASCAR obviously has got a lot more popularity. Is it busier for you?
They're apples and oranges. They're both so different. They're both very busy. And obviously there's a lot more fans on the NASCAR side, but it's still busy, and it's still, it's just so different. I can't even explain it to you. The people on the NASCAR side, I mean, everything's different. This is on the IndyCar side, sitting at the hauler. No, transporter. NASCAR, it's a hauler. I remember the first race with Danica. It was the ARCA test in Daytona, and we were getting ready to walk out to practice. Well, we just assumed that we had to walk out to the pit lane for practice. No, they practiced out of their garages, and so we were like, oh. And so that's all just trying to learn the new normal, and what is normal on each side. So.
What do you kind of do to relax? I mean, you don't have a lot of time to do that, but what kind of de-stresses you, or what do you do to kind of just, go to that different place?
I try to just turn my cell phone off and not answer emails. I've actually now started taking the notifications off my phone, so I don't get notified anymore when I get an email or a text message, because it was ruling my world. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's funny how those little electronic things can be
they make everything so much easier, but they're so much more complicated. So, and I don't take my phone when I go to dinner with my husband, and I like to spend time with my family and my friends. That's really what I like to do. So,
one more question: How do you love racing? You always love racing. How did you get into this profession?
By chance, by the wrong place at the right time. I had no idea. I'm from Indianapolis. I've always known about racing, but I had no. If you would have told me 15 years ago I would have been in racing, I would have thought you're crazy. But I actually started working in Charlotte for Jeff Gordon, and I wanted to move back to Indianapolis, and then I ended up getting a job with Andretti Autosport, which. Andretti Green at the time, which was Danica's first race season with them, and we just clicked and hit it off. So, no, I never knew I would be in racing, but I'm a fan of it because I know the people, and I know the drivers, and so I want to, you want to see it do well at the end of the day, especially IndyCar, because it's such an awesome product.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get enough attention, and neither does Danica, but thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Just to explain kind of what you do and how it works. I don't think that people really understand that they just see a driver jump in a car, but there's so much more that goes into all this.
Oh, so much more that goes into this. It's that I don't even know. There's just so much that there's all the details. It's the travel details. It's the hotel details. It's everything detailed. That's kind of like my life is all about details.
Yes, and I think that we can't stress enough the team concept, because you guys really are a team working together to make sure everything works out.
Definitely. And even though Danica drives for the GoDaddy.com car, she's also part of the bigger team of Andretti Autosport. So at the end of the day, Andretti wants, the team wants everyone to do well, and the drivers want their teammates to do well. So it's definitely a team sport for sure. We all make this happen.
That's right. Well, one person that does her job very well, I can tell you right now, is Haley Moore, because I couldn't do my job without her. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.